The story of Indigenous people in Canada is the story of thousands of generations rooted in our relationship to each other, to our culture, and to our land. It's a story that involves colonialism, exploitation, and discrimination. It's also a story of survival and resilience. Our resilience as First Nations people is our power to overcome history. We know we need to return to many of our old ways that sustained us for so long, the ways that the ancestors taught us. Historically, the lack of clear legislative basis for First Nations health has created many challenges. In British Columbia, our First Nations leaders decided one way to support healing and wellness among our people was to take control of our own health services, to reclaim our wellness. We knew it would be a long journey, but our conviction is steadfast, and we know the destination is worthwhile. We understand we are in the change business. That's why First Nations from every region of BC came together to envision a health system by and for our Indigenous peoples. A health system with a focus on wellness rather than illness. A system grounded in culture and tradition. These leaders formed the First Nations Health Council, a group of regional representatives whose goal was to listen to our communities and to advocate for better health outcomes. Health directors from every region voted to create the First Nations Health Directors Association to plan, manage, and deliver health programs and services. And the First Nations Health Authority emerged as the first province-wide health authority of its kind in Canada, a health and wellness partner to more than 200 diverse First Nation communities across BC. Together, these were the three pillars of a new system of First Nations health governance in BC, and their goal was nothing short of transformation. Some said it was the single greatest act of self-determination in Canada. At the heart of this transformation are the social determinants of health, the factors that influence health outcomes for First Nations people in BC. They are the conditions in which we are born, grow up, live our lives, and grow old, how we live a good life. They are the wider set of forces and systems that shape the conditions of our daily life, our individual health and wellness. With this framework in mind, the community gathered in 2011 to outline 7 directives for First Nations health governance, to be community-driven and nation-based, to increase First Nations decision-making and control, to improve services, to foster meaningful collaboration and partnership, to develop human and economic capacity, to be without prejudice to First Nations interests, and to function at a high operational standard. In 2011, First Nations leaders across the province came together at Gathering Wisdom to sign a historic agreement, one that enshrined those values and empowered First Nations in BC to participate fully in decision-making about their health and wellness. We continued to chart a new course for the transition to a new First Nations health governance structure, reaffirming our sense of reciprocal accountability and committing to our shared ownership and shared responsibility. In 2013, on October 1st, the official transfer of health services from Health Canada to the First Nations Health Authority began. We had arrived at a new shore, and we knew that it was time to start building a new health system from the ground up. At the foundation of this effort, we recognize that cultural wellness is core to this transformation, that we need to reclaim our culture, our traditions, and our languages. Our Indigenous worldview and ways of being gives us a shared understanding, a common way of seeing. We know that what we're doing is grounded in our identity and how we see health and wellness, how we honor and celebrate our identity. That's why we foster dialogue between our youth and our elders, why we practice our ceremonies and traditions with pride, and why we support each other in a collective and shared vision for healthy, self-determining, and vibrant BC First Nations children, families, and communities. All of this was made possible by you, this community. At Gathering Wisdom 10, we're looking back on what we've achieved together and our success while we look forward to the next 10 years and the next horizon. As we reflect on how far we've come, let's remember our mission of reclaiming our identity as First Nations and building a better health system for all our people. We have many challenges before us, but those challenges belong to us and no one else. And that in itself is an achievement worth celebrating. At this historic 10th gathering, let us recommit to the work ahead, transforming the health and wellness of BC's First Nations people. This work again begins with us. Let's remember why we're here, to ensure First Nations are involved as equal partners in the planning and management of health services for our people. The work that BC First Nations are doing today will help us achieve our goal of creating healthy, strong, and more vibrant communities now and for generations to come.